Welcome to the House of Wellness. Our doors are open. We find out what arguing does to your relationship.
Tips to becoming an exceptional skin ager.
Plus the healing hands of this age-old ritual, massage.
Oh, that actually really hurts. Ow!
And is it art or science? The true meaning of feng shui.
Having water in front of a property is really prosperous.
All that and much more coming your way today.
So let's all get well, stay well, live well, and look fabulous.
Right here in the House of Wellness. Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to the House of Wellness. We were just talking about the art of arguing.
No, we weren't.
We were?
Okay, I don't think we were, but the question is, can arguing be good for us? More on that later. Dr. Nikki Goldstein is here to talk about that.
Also, the healing powers of a good cup of tea. Real Housewife of Melbourne star Janet Roach will share the very personal story behind her tea company, Raw Essentials.
Slamming Sam is back. And Ed, he'll be taking you for a drive.
Is that so?
Yeah,
Right.
and he's got a workout for you and your buttocks that can be done while you're stuck in traffic. Interesting.
Huh.
And our favourite pharmacist, Gerald Quigley, will be here. He'll be answering all your calls and health questions.
To be fair, he does have a butt that will stop traffic. Now, don't forget, you can chat and reach us any which way at this fabulous website, houseofwellness.com.au.
Lots of great info waiting for you there. Or you can call us
Yep.
on 1800 469 788.
It's a great website. Check it out. Don't forget, too, you can follow us on Facebook.
You do
The
love
House of
Facebook,
Wellness.
don't you?
I love a facey. Now, when you are in a relationship, you're going to fight with your partner, maybe even your TV partner. It's perfectly normal.
Oh, I thought we were okay, but maybe not. On the other hand, it's been said that arguing is good for a relationship and can even be a sign of passion. So maybe you don't argue enough. I'm confused.
Yeah.
To help us understand, we are joined today by relationship and intimacy expert, Dr. Nikki Goldstein. I have to say, I think you're Ed's favourite
good.
expert.
Oh, good. I hope I'm your favourite as well.
I am. I don't want to get into an argument about it.
Okay, let's sort that out.
Is arguing healthy?
It is, but we need to look at healthy arguments because we've all been in those arguments with our partner where we say those really damaging dagger-like statements, but we also need to not be so fearful of them because it is a mode of communication.
Well, I don't know. I mean, when you do go for the jugular, I have been known to hit below the belt a couple of times. Is it, like, unrepairable?
It's not unrepairable, but it's important to look at why you go to that aggressive state. Now, often we get quite mean and angry when we're fearful of something.
Okay.
So if we are arguing about a particular subject or topic, the first question is why? And to look underneath the surface, maybe there is something that you're fearful of. Maybe your partner's doing something that makes you anxious because it represents something bigger. The why is always the thing that's going to help us resolve that argument.
So is the why what is under the anger?
Yes.
And so is that, how do we do that when we're like, no, you didn't get the milk. How do we
you didn't leave the toilet seat down.
right? Like, how do we do that? How do we get to the why?
Well, I think you need to stop and ask yourself, what's going on for me personally? It always starts with the individual. Am I reacting to something because I feel insecure, because something else has been going on, and this is just the fuse that's been lit? It's really those challenging statements that I think can help you look at a situation a little bit better. Now, if you're on the other side of the anger, you might also need to look at, well, what's going on with my partner? Why are they reacting like this? I mean, every woman feels like they've been called a psycho, but there's a reason why we
Stop calling
turn...
us a psycho.
Exactly.
That's the first tip.
But there is a reason. If we're getting so heated and we're getting so emotional, why is that? But it's also so important to look at the emotion in these arguments, because if we are getting so emotional, well, what else is going on? And maybe that needs to be addressed and some validation around that before you're able to shift on whatever it is you're having a dummy spat about.
Is there a healthy argument? Like, is there a way to argue clean?
There is, but I think it's really difficult to work out at what point that is. So if you're a couple, it's really important to have a look at how you resolve arguments so that when you do have a healthy argument, you've got some form of resolution. Maybe that's a point where you call a timeout and you say, you know what, I feel like we're doing a little bit too much damage now. Let's do something nice together and pick this up when we can have a little bit more of a calm conversation, or just acknowledging how each person does respond in an argument so you can work within that.
Now, we've said that it can sometimes entail passion. Is that because of the making up part after the fight?
It can be, but I also think it's the emotion. When we look at emotions, we're looking at all sorts of emotions. So, if you want to have a bit of fun making up, then you can do that, but make sure that you found a resolution before you look at any type of passion.
So it's not just a toxic fight, it's a healthy fight.
It's a healthy
But
fight.
comes with a little bit of passion. We've got passion here, friendly passion.
Yes, true,
right?
yeah.
So we're going to keep it clean.
Okay, good. You notice I've said nothing this whole time? That's so smart.
That is
right,
a
Dr. Nikki?
smart
thing.
men move.
Yeah, not that I'm going to be siding with every woman, but sometimes, that can help.
Because you
So-
say ridiculous things.
true, that's a
It
good
makes
point.
me so mad.
Yeah, you make a good point.
Now, how can we just, for the viewers at home, give them a really quick wrap up on how to have a healthy fight?
Okay, well, first of all, let's think of a fight like an iceberg. What's on the tip of the iceberg, right, is often not what we're arguing about. Let's have a look underneath the surface. Now, the second thing is you need to address emotion. Sometimes before we start looking for solutions, let's talk about it and say, I feel really angry because. I statements are a really strong way of owning
Not
the
you did
emotion
this
as well.
to me.
I feel
Got
like
it.
this because you did X. And I think thirdly, you really need to start looking for a resolution at some point. We can continue to have these conversations, but you need to sometimes be that referee and say, okay, we've discussed a lot of the emotion, we've discussed as to why this argument is happening. Let's start talking about how we're going to move on from that, because it feels like you can just go around and around and around.
Such a good point.
Do you
And
ever find the end?
Don't set the timer to count down and go beep, 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 argument over.
Yeah,
Not
no.
good.
Oh, you've done that?
Not good.
I also really love therapy, but you know what? That's another segment.
That's another
topic.
topic.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nikki. Oh, so much wisdom.
Hopefully I've solved some of the dummy spats that happen here.
Phew. No arguments there. Now, communication, as we've learned, seems to be the key to a healthy argument. But once it's done and dusted, it's nice to do something relaxing, isn't it?
Yes, and if you're looking for something relaxing to do together, you could go for a massage.
Nice one.
We sent the wrong Zoe for this one. Zoe Bingley Pullen in search of the benefits of a massage.
When most people think about wellness and relaxation, they think about having a good massage. It's one of the world's oldest health remedies. With over 80 styles available, it's hard to know which way to go. So I'm going to attempt to shed some light on this, all within the confines of these four walls.
The art of massage dates back thousands of years. In Victorian times, it was condemned as a disreputable form of indulgence. However, today, it is seen as a respectable method of healing.
I know, it's a tough job, but I really am taking it for the team. And what better way to learn about massage than to throw myself into it? And I've got the beautiful Josh here who's doing a remedial massage on me, and it feels amazing. Josh, tell me a little bit about remedial massage.
So remedial massage is a form of soft tissue manipulation. It borrows a lot of different techniques from different styles of massage. The starting point of the massage is to increase a bit of circulation into the area. Then once the muscle is nice and warm, then you start to apply a bit more firmer and firmer pressure.
With a focus on specific areas that might be causing you grief, such as neck, shoulder, or back pain, remedial massage is designed to bring you a whole-bodied relief.
Oh, that actually really hurts. Ow!
Is that quite so?
Yeah, that's very... Isn't it weird? We always laugh when we're in pain.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So it actually does feel quite relaxing. I'm going to feel really good once he's finished. Maybe a little pain, but anyway, it'll be good for me.
From the firm but fair hand of remedial massage to the no-touch healing power of Reiki.
How does energy healing and massage differ, or what are the similarities?
Well, the similarity is that they both feel good, and the difference is that massage is much more physical. You work with the muscle and everything in the body, while with energy healing, you work without touching, just by sending energy to important energy centers.
A Japanese technique, Reiki is based on the premise that every living thing has a flow of energy. And Reiki helps clear or unblock this energy in your body. These energy centers are known as chakra.
We have 7 chakras. Each chakra in the body is linked to an important organ in the body, but it's also linked to your thoughts and to your emotions as well. Therefore, when you do healing on all the chakra, you address all the issues.
Oh, I need some chakra clearing.
Who doesn't?
Christiana's obviously very good because I can definitely feel something. I'm feeling warmth, but I'm also feeling. It feels like a level of vibration going through my body, and I felt like a pop, something releasing. It's really amazing. Yeah, I'm impressed.
Well, that's 2 kinds of massage and one very happy Zoe. As for my next therapy, well, I'm not so sure.
After the break, Zoe's massage adventure continues with one of the weirdest therapies she's encountered.
And I'm going to come out, all right?
It's a good look, that one, wasn't it?
Plus, there's a secret we're about to share, and it's all about perfect skin.
And later we meet up with Real Housewife of Melbourne star Janet Roach and learn about her other success. That and a whole lot more. Stick with us after the break.
Now here's a style of massage you may not have given much thought to. Rachel Cunningham is a practitioner in the art of vocal massage. We all use our voice for different things, some more than others, but sometimes we forget about the muscles that support our neck and our voice.
I'm releasing the muscles up into the base of the jaw. So the benefit of this is if you've had a cough or you feel your voice is not working very well, it could very well be the larynx has gone into a high position.
Vocal massage releases the connective tissue around our neck and jaw. These muscles must be freed up to allow the jaw and the voice to function freely. This is great if you suffer from jaw pain and neck stiffness.
And a lot of people get headaches from clenching and grinding their teeth, and that can be because of this muscle being way too tight.
That feels really good,
Yeah.
and you can really feel all that tension up through that area of the head.
Now this is where we get a little up close and personal.
So just opening up a little
I'm feeling
bit.
a bit nervous.
That's all right. If it's too much, you just put your hand up and I'll stop straight away. Go, opening up a little bit, and we just go along here, around under the cheekbone. So loosening this muscle off can give so much relief to the jaw, and you can open it so much wider. So
I can't really talk very well,
No,
but
you
it's
can't,
actually it feels really good.
Okay, now I'm going to come out, all right?
It's a good look, that one, wasn't it? It's a really interesting feeling because it does feel like you said it's a bit of a rubber band release. 1 room and 3 massages. The remedial massage was firm, but it felt good. The voice massage was weird having someone put their hands around my throat, but I actually really liked it in the end. The Reiki massage, what can I say? I could feel her energy all over my body. If you haven't tried massage and you want to, this is the tip of the iceberg. All you need to do is just be a little confident and throw yourself into massage and energy healing because it is amazing.
Well, Zoe's back with me now. The things we make you do, honestly. Who doesn't love a good massage? But that Reiki, I just feel like I need hands-on. But you enjoyed it.
Look, I think we need to not discount that massage is not all about tactility. It's actually about vibration. And there are people who don't understand it, don't believe it. And I kind of sat a little bit in that positioning for a while.
Yeah.
I was amazed at how I felt. I could literally feel her hands moving on my body, and I couldn't help but sort of sneak a little peek to see what was going on. And her hands actually were where I thought they were.
Yeah.
Whether it's the radiation of heat coming off her hands, I really loved it, and I would absolutely do it again. And I think massage is, it comes in lots of different ways.
It's like a crazy dark wizardry going on there. What about that vocal massage? That looked more like a dental examination. What was going on with that?
Look, no one really likes having fingers put in their mouth, to be quite honest, but it stretched my vocal cords. It seemed to open up my throat to a position I felt quite comfortable with.
Wow.
But the release of the jaw was amazing.
Yeah.
I think we hold so much tension in our jaw. We live in a very stressed environment. To have that release in this muscle group that is working harder than any other muscle in our body, it's nice to have a bit of relief in a slightly different way.
I wonder what we'll put you through next. Remember to floss. Nice story. Thanks for that, Zoe.
Thank you.
Being a woman doesn't come cheap. We have all sorts of costs. There's our hair, cut and colour, the eyebrows, lashes, to tint, lengthen, then there's makeup, manicures, sometimes facials. But you cannot forget skincare. Finding the right skincare may not be as easy as you think. So here to help is special guest, principal scientist for Olay Skincare, Dr. Frauke Neusser.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
You have flown a long way for this interview, so I do appreciate it.
I have indeed, but I'm very happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Now, I've got a skin regime that I've been doing for years and years and years. How important is it for us to be looking after our skin?
It's actually much more important than many people believe. I hear so often from women who say, yes, I have this friend, she looks amazing, so young, younger than she should. It's all about the genes. It's, the lucky genes,
Yes.
nothing that I can achieve. And that's actually totally wrong. So Olay did a huge study last year where we looked at over 150,000 women. And some of those women looked, exceptionally young. But most of the women just looked like, everybody else. And so we looked at, what makes the younger looking women so special? Is it their genes, or is it some of their lifestyle habits? And what we found is, I find is really empowering, because what you do, your lifestyle, your habits, your choices, and also what you put on your skin really, really makes a bigger difference for skin aging than your genes.
Now, it can be really overwhelming though, picking a moisturiser especially. There's so much out there. What should we be looking for when we're going out and shopping?
Well, I think the biggest aha from the study was that you should wear an SPF every day. So, we all know, and we don't do it, but so that's the first thing.
Okay.
And then really some of the other ingredients you want to look for. I mean, any good skincare should have a lot of glycerin, which is a fantastic moisturizing ingredient.
Yes.
It should have niacinamide, which is just, the chemical name for vitamin B3.
Okay.
And vitamin B3 is an amazing multitasker for skin. It helps to
Right.
energize your skin cells, to accelerate skin turnover. It softens the appearance of pores, wrinkles, lines. It reduces redness.
Wow,
and
it's a miracle.
So it's really a bit of a miracle ingredient. So niacinamide should always be on that ingredient list.
Now, we're at different ages. Should we be doing different things for our skin throughout our lives?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it doesn't mean you have to change your skincare every other month. And again,
Yes.
that's another myth I hear often. My skin
That's
gets
what I-
immune
that's
to it,
what I
gets
thought.
used to, and then it doesn't work anymore. It's a total myth.
Okay.
So you can start anti-aging skincare, for example. I think you should really start it in your late 20s, early 30s. And then now what you want to look for on top of niacinamide and glycerin are ingredients like peptides that boost collagen production,
Beautiful.
carob fruit
And then
extract.
you don't need the Botox.
You don't need the Botox. If you start early, I promise you won't need the Botox later on.
Now, can we talk about Olay and
Yes.
the results that Olay provide?
Yeah. So what we really take great care with is to design products that start working from the very first day, because we
Okay.
know nobody today in this age has patience,
No, we
right?
want it
And the
now.
older, use one jar for 2 months
rid of
and
the
then
wrinkles.
no.
Yeah.
So our products start working visibly from the first day.
Do they?
It's really the plumping from the hyaluronic acid, the glycerin, etc. You start seeing that on day one. Then, of course, some things take a little longer. After 2 weeks, you'll see brighter skin. You'll see more elasticity and firmness. You can actually feel that. And then it probably takes more like 4 weeks to really see that significant reduction in lines and wrinkles that we all want.
Now, for everybody out there, we live in such a harsh environment in Australia. You mentioned the SPF and the moisturiser.
Yes.
Anything else that we should be putting into our regime?
Yeah, so again, and I can't say it often enough, SPF non-negotiable, right?
Okay.
That's the number one, always, every day, in the winter, when it's cloudy, even if you don't spend a lot of
Yes.
time outdoors.
And I think that's
always.
important to say. You have to wear it, just not when you're out sunbaking.
Exactly, which everybody's pretty good at, but it's that every day. It's like brushing your teeth in the morning. Use a moisturizer with SPF. Don't even think about it. It's not an option,
Yes.
it's a must. Then some other things that I personally really love are, antioxidants as ingredients in your skincare, like, vitamin E or green tea extract, but also in your nutrition, in your diet.
Yes.
So not everything makes a big difference, but having, enough antioxidants in your food. There's been some great research that shows if you eat a lot of blueberries and tomatoes, for example,
I do.
it does help your skin. So that's something easy you can really do. And then the third thing is really keeping your skin really moisturized. And, you know, think about summer and winter, look at what your skin needs throughout the seasons. But from our research, we know that dry skin ages faster than well-moisturized skin. So, and there's, you know, there's no excuse. There's no reason why you shouldn't put on a good moisturizer twice a day. So if you do those 3 things...
We can keep it simple, right? You don't have to get overwhelmed.
Absolutely. You don't have to have the 10-step Korean skincare regime, you know, morning and evening. You don't. But, you know, keep it simple, but use it, right? Be regular with it.
Thank you so much, Dr. Frauke.
Oh, it was a pleasure.
Very interesting. Now, make sure you stick around after the break. There's so much more to come. Community pharmacist, an all-round nice guy. Yep, you've got it. Gerald Quigley will be back with us to answer your calls and questions.
And later, stuck in traffic? No problem. Sam Wood's here to help. It's a workout you can do in the car. All that and so much more. Now, where are my keys? Stay with us on the House of Wellness. Welcome back, everybody, to the House of Wellness. It is that time of the show again. Your calls, and to help us, we're joined by our community pharmacist, an all-round nice guy, Gerald Quigley. Hello, GQ.
Hello, Ed. Hi, Zoe.
Hi.
How are you?
Now, I do love a coffee, but mine is a little bit of an interesting request.
Yours is the most interesting coffee I have ever seen.
Decaf soy cap, half hot water, don't burn the soy, lots of froth and chocky because I am pregs and I like a little sweet treat.
I took that order once, never again.
That's it, they always get it wrong and I don't know how. Is drinking caffeine bad when you're pregnant?
It depends how much, Zoe. Look, caffeine is good, and if it means that when you are expecting, it stops you from rushing and tearing around. So you sit down and you might have whatever your favourite milk is with a weak coffee. Good for you, and having a chat to someone.
What about that stimulant though?
No, not if you're having too much. And with the half strength that you have, you might as well have a glass of water.
That's true.
Yes.
It's easy on the phone, right? Yeah. Now, let's jump to some of our callers. We have our first standing by. It's Anne in Devonport in Tasmania. Go ahead for us.
Hello, I'm wondering about the sugar, if it's bad for us. How does honey come into this? Is that just as bad as sugar?
Yeah, we spoke about sugar last week with nutritionist Susie Burrell, didn't we?
Yes, we did. And sugar can be a problem, not for you because you have honey in your coffee, which is quite strange. But honey is a food. It's glucose and fructose together, but our body processes honey differently than sugar, which is sucrose. So honey is really good. It's a food. So
agave syrup is good.
Of all the funny coffees here on the bench, mine not so bad, it turns out.
Well, not compared to Zoe's, no.
Yeah. Let's grab an email. This is from Pam in Dubbo, who writes, my blood pressure has recently increased after an extremely stressful year. Can you recommend a herbal supplement I can use in conjunction to changes in diet and exercise as well?
Pam, blood pressure can be a problem because you may or may not be on medications for your blood pressure. Yeah. If you are, you can still take aged garlic extract to help rebalance blood pressure. So aged garlic extract, which is got clinical evidence you can't jump over, is really good for rebalancing blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar, and it does it very subtly and quite safely.
Okay, best of health to you, Pam. Another caller waiting is Christine in Carrington in Newcastle. Here we are.
I was wondering the best way to take glucosamine chondroitin, whether it be in a liquid form or a tablet form.
We've spoken about that. It's joint pain. Right?
It helps the joint space head between joints that start to creak a little. Christine, it doesn't matter. I prefer powder. Zoe would prefer liquid because she loves nice...
No, I like to just take in the tablet.
The tablets are usually horse-shaped tablets, big tablets. So capsules or powder is probably a better way to do it. So when you're much older, go for those.
Okay, they're in the shape of a horse, or they're just horse size?
Big tablets.
Okay,
I thought it was shaped like a horse too.
It'd be fun though, wouldn't it?
No, it wouldn't be.
We get stuck in the jugular.
Hey, Mr. Ed. Now, let's take a look at what everybody is talking about on social media at the moment. I flagged this from all-round superstar of the pool, Michael Phelps, American's superstar swimmer, most decorated Olympian of all time, for good measure. 28 plus medals, most of those gold. He is getting out and pressing out the importance of swimming safely. Now, he's got a little boy. Imagine what sort of a swimmer he's going to be. But our stats are still terrible across Australia with drownings each year. So if he's sending out that sort of message, it's a heads up for all of us. Get our kids, watch our little ones.
I wonder how quickly, like how early on you start them swimming.
Straight away. Oh, your little one's going to be in the pool.
What do you mean, like 6 months? Or
no, earlier than that.
It's the best
fun.
Earlier.
Yeah. I've got so much to learn.
Best fun.
Well, you know who is been on my radar on the Instagram is Jessica Oli. Now, she is a yogi. She has hundreds of thousands of followers. But the thing I love about her, because, you know, I'm always seeking out the relatable women and men online.
Yeah.
She's talking about her struggle with anxiety, and she's really connecting with those out there, because she looks like a Zen master.
Doesn't she?
But she's not okay a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And I love that. She's saying, yes, I'm doing this balance, but I struggle like everybody.
Isn't that good? And you know, yoga practice is now showing great results with helping with depression and anxiety along that spectrum.
Yes, it does.
So that's
and
great.
meditation. So all of those are in the same
Are you
package.
a meditator?
I try very hard to meditate, but I go to sleep.
Oh, God.
So I over-meditate.
I don't know if you're doing it right.
What's caught your eye on social
Look,
media?
I've got this from Handmade Apothecary, which is a fascinating combination. That picture there is hops and lavender, so lavender leaves and hops flowers. And you dry them out and put them in your pillowcase, and it helps you sleep. It
Oh,
relaxes.
I needed that. Why
Be
didn't you tell
perfect.
me, Gerald?
Well, try it tonight, Zoe.
Okay.
Missing out on a little bit of sleep with the bubba wriggling around, are
It's
you?
taking up some space.
Poor lammy. Good one.
And don't forget, everyone, you can find us at houseofwellness.com.au. If you missed us last week, you can watch us there.
Yep.
You'll find loads of great health and food info waiting for you. Now, while you're there, you can drop Gerald a line by email or call us directly on 1800 469 788. And if you like Ed and love Facey, get on your phone and on Facebook. Like us, the House of Wellness Oz. We are literally everywhere. Next up, here, interesting work with Sam and Ed.
We get 60 seconds each week with Superfit Sam Wood. Mate, we've been doing a lot of exercise the last few weeks at home, but
We have.
I reckon we spend a fair chunk of time each week stuck in traffic. Can you help us out?
We do, and I can. So here's 3 simple moves you can do in the car when stuck in traffic. In fact, why don't we go for a spin and I can show you in the car.
Let's hit the road.
All
Come
right.
on, here we go. Righty-go. I just happen to have my car parked out here.
Very
In
convenient.
the studio.
Nice wheels there.
sunny's on.
Nice wheels.
Yeah, it's a drop top.
Yeah.
Let's get out of the city.
Yeah, I think we're out of the city, mate. In the desert. It's hot. It's hot. I'll just wipe my window down.
I wouldn't do that.
No?
No.
Oi, no. Oh,
Stupid
okay.
idea.
All right, bad idea. Window up, window up, window up. All right, so
Exercise.
on a serious note, though, there are simple moves you can do when stuck in traffic. All right, I think we've left the desert.
Okay, good.
Now we're out in the mountains. Okay, so butt squeezes. All right.
Oh.
Butt squeeze. So we do 20 butt squeezes. Then we do chin tucks. That's right, little chin tucks. Pushing the head. Great to strengthen those deep neck muscles.
A bit worried about my butt squeezing face, to be honest.
Yeah, butt squeezing.
Honking at us. We're going as fast
as we can. Road rage. All right, and to finish.
Well, you drive.
Let me take it for a spin. That's a nice car to drive.
It
actually.
is, it's good. And as
All
well.
right, pelvic floor.
Really?
Even for the men.
Really?
Particularly for the women, but even for the men. 5 seconds and 5 times. So
Trust
100
me, I'm doing it.
Yeah, exactly. It's very much a trust exercise, isn't it?
Okay.
And once you've done that, just hit the open road and de-stress and away you go.
Keep on driving. I'm Thelma, he's Louise, and there's plenty more still to come on the House of Wellness. Shush! Well, that was unusual. Next, the A to Z of vitamins. We're looking at the healing benefits of herbal teas and Feng Shui the fast way. 5,000 years of Chinese learning in 5 minutes.
It's important to get rid of the negative energy.
We'll see you back here after the break.
The ancient art of Feng Shui has been around for over 3,000 years, so I'm not here to argue with tradition. But you do kind of wonder, how much does moving the furniture around the house or putting a pot plant in the corner of the room really change your life? Well, get ready. I'm about to give you 3,000 years of Feng Shui history in just over 3 minutes. What is Feng Shui wellness? Wood, metal, fire, water, and earth. These 5 elements are central to the ancient story of Feng Shui. The Feng Shui masters of old believed these 5 elements all generate an unseen energy that flows through every living thing on Earth. They call this energy Qi. The easier this energy flows around you, the happier and more prosperous you are. Feng Shui is actually an accredited form of traditional Chinese medicine in Australia. People typically seek consultations for 3 main reasons: health, wellness, or relationships. Caroline McCallum has studied Feng Shui for 15 years with some of its grand masters. According to her, the key to wellness in life is the relationship you have with your home. What are the rules that apply across the board?
One of the major rules is not to have clutter. So any home with a lot of clutter means that the energy or the chi cannot move around freely, which means it stagnates.
The term Feng Shui literally translates as wind and water, because that's how the ancient masters visualised the way the chi energy flows through our lives, like wind and water. The smoother the flow, the happier we are. As part of every consultation, a Feng Shui expert uses this ancient metal compass to read how chi energy interacts with the physical world, and each reading is very different. So I love this room, but what do you think?
Well, that view is spectacular. Having water in front of a property is really prosperous. Additionally, having a mountain behind a property like this one is also prosperous.
Creating good Feng Shui in the house is all about making an indoor environment feel like an outdoor environment by filling your home with a balance of the 5 Feng Shui elements. Wood relates to growth and health, so some decorative driftwood or wooden bowls are great. Fire fuels physical energy, passion and creativity, so candles work perfectly. Earth helps with knowledge and stability, so anything made of stone is recommended in the home. Metal cultivates strength, focus and independence. And lastly, water is all about wealth. Turn off all those taps so you're not leaking any good fortune, and try adding the odd bowl of floating candles around the place. What are you not liking?
I don't like this.
The ceiling?
Standing underneath a beam.
Ah.
So beams traditionally create pressure and are quite burdensome if you're standing, sitting or sleeping underneath them.
Now, while these easy changes can be made to get the chi energy flowing, you can also reset your house and life with a cleansing ceremony. Nina Zheng is a classically trained Feng Shui master. As she circles each room in the house in a clockwise fashion, her prayer bowl, chants and incense cleanse each room of negative energy. Nina, that sounds so lovely.
Hi, thank you.
Why is it so important to cleanse the space like that?
It's important to get rid of the negative energy, and I'm using 9 sticks of the incense. Number 9 represents ultimate positive number.
Okay.
And with fire and incense and chanting is really adding the positive energy to the space.
So the negative's gone?
It's gone.
Stagnant's gone.
Gone.
Positive's in.
Yes.
So there you have it. Feng Shui the fast way. 3,000 years of knowledge in a little over 3 minutes.
Great to have JT with us in the flesh. We've got JT, we've got GQ.
Oh, everyone's here.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your...
EP, I guess.
Oh,
EP.
That's not as fun. So I don't know if you call it feng shui, feng shui, feng shui. I like to call it feng shui. I do practice it. What did you take away from this?
So that was my first question. How do you say it?
Yes,
Feng Shui, Feng Shui.
Yeah.
I think, you know what, however you want to say it is okay. I didn't know anything about it before the day, but I guess any interior designer or architect will tell you it's important to have great flow in a building. And I guess Feng Shui is taking that to another extreme. You know, there's 3,000 years of acquired knowledge that's all come together.
Yeah.
And you know what? If there's a chance that it's going to make life a bit better, why not give it a go?
Have you?
I've taken a few things away. So I've still got to have her to my place to do my individual property because it's very individualised. They've got that compass. That's very important. They get all of your numbers, you know, when you were born and where you were born and all of those things, and they put that all in.
Yeah, the good places in the house.
Yeah, and then they tell you things like, it's everything from what colours are going to be good for you to wear on important meetings or moments to where you should place things around your house or apartment.
A lot of this might seem like superstition or just crazy sort of ideas, but this has been going for millennia.
Yeah, exactly. And so there's a lot of history behind it. And she was even saying to me that in India they've got their own sort of form of Feng Shui, and then in China they had their own form of Feng Shui. And then when they came together, they realised that they were all quite similar ideas. So you know, that says something, I guess.
Next
gotta
level,
get you-
feng shui. What do you do?
A lot. That's another segment, but I live my life by it. I really
Do
do.
you?
We need to get you involved.
Mm-hmm.
Watch you prosper.
Don't you have a frog or something that you pat when you leave the house?
No, it's a money frog.
Oh, it's a money frog.
Silly.
Oh, that's much more different.
First things
Holy.
first, let's stop you leaking.
Thank you, mate. Nice to have you here at the House of Wellness. Don't forget, every Sunday morning too, we are on the radio right around the country as well. Larry Emder in the driver's seat, along with our own Gerald Quigley and the team at the House of Wellness. You can
And-
see us in all the countries.
Yeah, you'll see us we're everywhere.
Yep.
Make sure you get a copy of our lift out. You can find it in store or in your favourite Sunday paper across Australia.
There it is. Have a read. There's a great story on Australian model and TV presenter Laura Dundevic as well, and her new career move to what it means to have a healthy relationship with food and exercise. She's a great girl. Stick around. We've got more to come after the break.
Pharmacist and medical herbalist Gerald Quigley returns for the A to Z of vitamins.
And joining us next on the sofa is Real Housewife star Janet Roach, who opens up about the importance of health and well-being.
See you soon back here at the House of Wellness. Welcome back to the House of Wellness. Great to have our very special guest here. I am a fan from Real Housewives of Melbourne, the lovely Janet Roach.
Bombshell, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, Bombshell.
Hi, Ed.
How dare you
Zoe.
come in here
How
looking better than us?
fabulous. I doubt that.
Now, you are a busy lady.
Yes.
Tell me how you balance it all.
Look, I just think that all of life is about balance anyway, and I don't think that you can ever really get it right. I don't think that these people that say that they're like a supermum or something like that, I don't know that they'd be very happy. I don't think you get it right, and I think you just do the best that you can.
Figure it out as you go.
Yes, but it is all sort of about balance. Some things you have to say, look, I can't do that. You know, I'll do them next time. Or, yeah, it's just trying to keep a balance. But I don't know that anybody that's really, really, really busy, unless they're very uptight, actually gets it right.
Good point.
What do you guys think?
Good point. No, I think you're onto the money there. Look, we're going to talk about your Raw Essential tea lines in just a sec. There's a really personal inspiration behind it, though, isn't there?
Yes. It's all sort of started when my son was in a fire when he was 22, and he spent about the next 3 years, he was burnt to 65%, nearly 70% of his body.
That's Jake, yeah.
Yeah, this is Jake. And such a fright. But he was so full of so many drugs and things, because you imagine he's been grafted 3 times and all over. And while he was okay physically, sort of getting okay physically, just mentally he had no inspiration for life. He was just laying on the couch. I'm mad about organic food. I have an organic vegetable garden. I grow a lot of my own herbs, which isn't very housewifely, I know, but it's that is my passion. And I tried to get him to drink some herbal teas and things that I'd been mixing up. Finally,
Yourself?
Yeah, it's actually my hobby. It's been my hobby for about 30 years.
Wow.
I'd grow my own herbs, dry them all on hangers in the shed, my poor children, and make up different combinations of teas, because I know a lot about what the herbs do. So I was making up tea for him. I finally convinced him to have it. He's going, Mum, I've taken so many like real drugs.
Yeah.
Like real
What's
drugs.
this
Do
gonna
you
do?
really think that this is going to? And I said, I really do think that this is going to help you. Ultimately, it did. So I'm sort of trying to cut a long story short. Then I said to him, look, if you could do anything in the world as a job, what would you like to do? Because now the things that he wanted to do were no longer available to him.
Yes.
And he said, we'd found some amazing treatments for burns patients from around the world, and I think that he looks amazing for the amount of how burnt he is.
Yeah.
They were very expensive, and so he wanted to start a foundation.
Incredible.
I didn't want to start a foundation because I didn't want to do, or I know how much work all of the fundraising is.
Yeah.
So he said, why don't you do your tea, Mum, because you really love that, and we'll take proceeds from the tea and donate them to the foundation. No fundraising, and it's a win-win. He does what he wants and I do what I want.
So, for both of us, what kind of tea would you suggest, especially for Ed?
Anything in mind?
For both of you, especially for Ed.
Especially for Ed.
Can I tell you, we got a bronze medal. This is a winner, a bronze international medal for the aphrodisiac tea.
Yes, you need that.
Give it over.
It is. I'm telling you, we tested it on people we tested it on ourselves.
Would have been fun. Huh?
Yeah, it was. It was a lot of fun.
You've had a good time with that one.
It really works. And for you, I understand that you're pregnant.
I am very pregnant.
Are you? Well, then, do you finding that you're having issues with sleeping?
Oh my gosh, please. You got something.
I drink this one every night before I go to bed.
Did you make this?
No, I didn't. You know that even though it is my hobby for 30 years, I actually got a number of very, very well-known international tea masters to blend these teas because they are much better at it than me.
Beautiful.
Right.
So you're going to sleep. I'll be up all night by the sounds of things.
But our hero, our
Yes.
winner, we got a gold international medal for
Yes.
our slim tea. Our slim tea is absolutely amazing. We get people
This isn't
writing
like
to
the
us.
skinny teas that make you go to the toilet. This
No,
is
so
healthy.
this has got no centre. That's why we won the gold medal. It warms you up with thermogenesis. It increases
Whoa.
your energy and it decreases your appetite. So it's
Amazing.
just natural herbs. Yes.
It's okay for me too to have this?
I think that don't drink tons of it.
And I've
And you
got a
don't really
big-
want to get skinny.
No, I don't want to get skinny, but I'm eating so much. It's
Well,
out
then
of
you
control.
maybe just want energy. You really want the energy one,
quick
which
one.
we
Yep.
made for
I
training.
might just take one of each. Is that okay?
Yes.
Great.
And I'll 41. Janet, lovely to see you. Can you stick around for us after the break?
Oh, I'd love to.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
All right, we've got the A to Z of vitamins coming up here on the House of Wellness. I'll just put this in my green room. See you soon. We go. Welcome back. Time for the A to Z of vitamins again. We're changing tack this time, though, having a look at the benefits of herbal teas. Real Housewives of Melbourne, ultimate tea lady. Janet has stayed with us. Lovely to have you here up on the desk.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful to be asked back to come this segment.
Get comfy. And Gerald's here with us. We're going to look at a whole bunch of options with our herbal teas.
We are. And let me say right at the outset, the most important part about this is the tea itself. So you don't buy a tea bag, you buy the real tea and you put it in a teapot and you have the temperature of the water at the right. It's
How do you know how to get the temperature right?
Well, if you've got a kettle that's modern or a jug that's modern,
Yes.
well, you push a button that says 95 or 90. It's
Yes,
very
it's-
difficult, but you just push it and it boils it to that temperature.
And so that's the right 90 degrees is
Yes.
the right temperature,
then
and you
well,
cannot
our
have a
expert,
tea bag.
Janet, it's 90 or 95?
90. Our
90.
herbal teas are for 90 degrees.
Gosh,
But what
it's
you
very
can
specific.
do,
I apologise.
it really does, because if you go to boil it, it actually kills a lot of the good things that are in there. Think about it
Yeah, good
by
point.
boiling it. So sometimes what I do with my teapot is if my kettle is, I have boiled it, I put a little bit of cold water through it first and then pour the hot water down onto the
Good to
side
know.
of it.
Clever,
Yes,
clever.
So if you make a mistake.
And you have a coffee, it's on the go. You make and enjoy a cup of tea.
So what kind of tea shall we talk about?
Well, the sleep tea is ideal.
Yep.
I did get a text from someone very early this morning saying, I can't sleep. I'm not saying who it
Who
was, but
would
Zoe,
it be?
those texts I find disturbing. A cup of
I've got
You're
the same
supposed
text.
to help me, Gerald, not tell everybody.
a cup of sleep tea would be perfect for you before you get ready for bed. It's part of your routine.
Well, I should have done that before I had the issue. Thanks for nothing.
And then I couldn't get back to sleep.
And a quickie, an anti-inflam one as an
Yeah,
option too.
Look, the inflammation, and don't we know, Janet, inflammation is the root of most chronic disease.
Yep.
So if you can have, and there's licorice and there's meadowsweet, anti-inflammatory herbs that have been around for yonks, beautifully presented in those teas.
Okay.
90 degrees, everybody.
90
deal.
degrees in the teapot.
And congrats on your range. Bronze medals, gold medals, beautiful stuff.
Yeah, we've only been going for 4 years. We didn't think we would get those medals, but we're so thrilled.
Good on you. Tea time for all of us. Thank you all for being on the show. Before we go, we want to thank everybody else who's been on the House of Wellness today, and a big thanks to our friends at Chemist Warehouse as well. As always, for getting behind us here on the House of Wellness.
Enjoy your week. See you next time.
Tea time. Bye now.